So I just took a picture of their album and was like, I can't wait for this new record. I didn't really think anything more of it, but somehow, some way, Taylor saw it.
Well, no, it's not exactly a dating app, but it did work for Mandy Moore. In this week's exclusive People cover story, the This Is Us star opens up about finding her true love.
Stamos is on cloud 9 now that he's engaged. We'll tell you how he's gushing over his fiancée.
Harry Connick Jr.'s wife reveals a secret 5-year battle with breast cancer in the new issue of People.
And it's the friendship of legends. Kenny Rogers opens up about his good pal Lionel Richie.
Is it safe to call it a bromance? That's what the kids are saying.
I think it's safe.
The new movie, Thank You for Your Service, is in theaters this weekend. One of the movie's stars is here telling us all about becoming a character suffering from PTSD.
Plus, Bill Nye the Science Guy explains the viral video where he walked into an elevator full of twerking ladies.
Uncle Bill's got to play it cool, all right?
Good morning, Facebook Live and People.com. Happy Hump Day. Lots to get to today. This Is Us actress Mandy Moore is the new People cover story, and she's opening up about her recent engagement and how she met her fiancé. Such a good modern story, and it got us all thinking, how did you meet your significant other? That's our Facebook question of the day. Let us know your answers in the comments below. But first, here's what you need to know and what's trending today. Watch.
I know what I want out of a relationship and what works for me and what doesn't work for me, and I feel like I'm better equipped to handle, you know, whatever life sort of throws at me, maybe than I was before. And I feel like I'm in the right situation now. I found the right person, and I feel like we can handle anything together. And yeah, I'm super excited.
Newly engaged and starring in NBC's hit drama This Is Us, it is easy to see why Mandy Moore is happier and more excited than ever. The actress graces this week's People cover, where she's opening up about her recent engagement to indie rock musician Taylor Goldsmith and revealing just how the two met. Get this, it all started with a simple Instagram post. Watch.
So I just took a picture of their album and was like, I can't wait for this new record. I didn't really think anything more of it, but somehow, some way, Taylor saw it and sent a note to me, an email from his people to my people somehow. And through that, we just sort of started emailing back and forth, and that's sort of how we met, and then we went on a date, and the rest is history.
Instagram, bringing people together. We love that. In the interview out Friday, Moore also gets candid about her past struggles at both home and work, revealing that before landing This Is Us, she was having a tough time finding work and was unhappy in her 6-year marriage to musician Ryan Adams. Here's what she had to say about that.
I was really discouraged, and I was dismayed at sort of the opportunities that weren't even really presenting themselves any longer, and I didn't know what to do. And I think that sort of coincided with my personal life not being in a great place, and sort of once I sort of like stopped and I regrouped and I kind of got myself better situated, you know, 6 months later the audition for this show came around, and just everything sort of felt like, oh, okay, yeah, I was waiting for this.
Yeah, we were waiting for it too, Mandy. We love it, and I know that we all cannot get enough of This Is Us. The entire Mandy Moore People cover story is streaming now on PeopleTV, and you can pick up your copy of People on newsstands Friday. Guys, John Stamos is on cloud 9 after his magical engagement to girlfriend of 2 years, Caitlin McHugh, while attending Zach Posen's birthday fundraiser in Beverly Hills on Tuesday. The Fuller House star could not stop gushing about his bride-to-be, telling People, I'm on cloud 9. I've been waiting for the perfect girl for over a decade, and she walked into my life. I mean, everybody knows that I've always loved family, and I wanted to have a family someday and get married again, and everyone's like, why don't you just do it? Stamos, who was previously married to Rebecca Romaine from 1998 to 2005, went on to explain that he had to, quote, get back to the person he was and hit the reset button. Admitting he was not the best version of himself a few years back, he said, quote, everybody thinks it's so easy. The hard part was me. Like, I wasn't the best me. I was ready, but no one as perfect as Caitlin, a true, pure, beautiful person inside, would have never gone for the old me a few years ago. But I knew the right person would come along, especially if I prayed and hoped. and I know my parents are up there watching, so I think they delivered an angel to me. As for what made 31-year-old McHugh the one, Stamos says they're the perfect balance, revealing that she's very chill, very calm, while he can often be hyper and tense. And when it came to that epic Disney-themed proposal, well, Stamos admits he received a little extra help from his famous friends. Disney CEO Bob Iger emailed the actor about Caitlin's love of Disney, while good friend and Disney animator Paul Briggs helped cut together a movie of all the most romantic moments in Disney and Pixar animation. Safe to say this love story is something right out of a Disney fairy tale. Big congrats to that happy couple. Well, guys, we all know and love Harry Connick Jr. as a multi-platinum recording artist, actor, host of the daytime talk show Harry. But for the last 5 years, he and his wife, actress and former Victoria's Secret model Jill Goodacre, have been fighting a very behind-the-scenes battle, breast cancer. The two are finally opening up about Goodacre's secret struggle in this week's issue of People. It all started in October 2012 when Goodacre had a routine annual mammogram. With no family history of breast cancer, she felt she had no reason to be worried. Even her mammogram results said she was all clear. But after a follow-up ultrasound, which was necessary when Goodacre learned that she had dense breasts, something abnormal was detected, and a biopsy confirmed the worst. She had stage 1 invasive ductal carcinoma, breast cancer. She was told she would need a lumpectomy immediately, followed by radiation. Connick, whose mother died of ovarian cancer when he was just 13, says he was terrified to think of losing the love of his life, who he met in 1990 and married in 1994. He admits, quote, "When I first heard the news, I just totally lost it. I was scared I was going to lose her. I wasn't going to let her see that, but I was. I know from losing my mom that the worst can happen. She's my best friend, and I really don't know what I would do without her." The couple says that one of the hardest parts of Goodacre's cancer fight wasn't the actual fight at all. It was telling their 3 daughters, who are now 15, 20, and 21. About that moment, Goodacre says, quote, "I took to my bed when I found out. I was just wrecked. When the girls all got home from school, they came up to my room and climbed into bed with me, and I told them. And just watching their faces, it was so horrible as I saw the fear dawning on them and the confusion. It broke my heart." Since then, Goodacre has had 2 surgeries plus radiation that she says wiped her out, and she's been taking tamoxifen, an estrogen modulator, for the last 5 years. The side effects of that drug, like early menopause and weight gain, have not been easy on her body or her self-confidence, but she has a strong, supportive partner by her side, with Connick saying, quote, "She will always be the most beautiful woman in the world." Today, Goodacre is approaching the 5-year mark of remission and says that the milestone she was waiting for before opening up to the world about her battle. Now she wants to enjoy being in remission and spread the word about the need for ultrasounds in addition to standard mammograms. Meanwhile, her husband is looking to the future. He admits, quote, "I knew as soon as I met her that I wanted to grow old with her. I'm so grateful that I still can." For more of Harry and Jill's story, check out this week's issue of People, and Goodacre will be discussing her cancer battle on Connick's talk show Harry on October 26th. You can check your local listings for showtimes. Well, guys, Flip or Flop star Christina El Moussa is opening up about renovating her love life. A source close to the HGTV starlet confirms that the 34-year-old mom of 2 has split from her businessman boyfriend after a few months of dating. El Moussa, who separated from her husband, Tarek, almost a year ago last December, officially began dating Doug Spedding this past summer. The split comes with the news that Spedding, who has 6 children from previous relationships, has entered inpatient rehab for his addiction issues. A source telling People Christina cares about Doug and his children, and she is thankful he's made the decision to get help. She feels strongly that it's never too late to make a change and is very supportive. And just last month, El Moussa couldn't help but gush about her great and blossoming relationship with Spedding, revealing they were enjoying a laid-back lifestyle with swims at her pool, barbecue cookouts, boat rides, and much more. Now, despite the split, the source reveals El Moussa still speaks with her former boyfriend daily and has been a supportive anchor throughout this difficult time. But the split doesn't seem to have slowed her down either. El Moussa has been keeping herself busy filming the HGTV hit alongside her estranged husband. The duo insists that, despite their messy breakup, filming together is a breeze, and they're, quote, "on fire this season." Although the former couple has not yet reached a divorce settlement, the source adds that one thing is clear: they're definitely not getting back together. Now on to this. There's a new behind-the-scenes romance on MTV's Teen Mom 2. Javi Marquand tells People that he and his co-star, Brianna DeJesus, decided to, quote, "make it official" after the reality show reunited them for a reunion taping over the weekend in Los Angeles. He says, quote, "We are dating. We've been friends for a while, and we weren't in a rush." DeJesus and MTV, meanwhile, did not respond to a request for comment. And while this is the first time Marquand has declared them official, the pair have been hinting that a relationship was brewing on social media. DeJesus shared this cheeky post on Instagram Sunday of her and Marquand and captioned the image, Daddy Javi. She followed it up a day later with another photo of them together, calling it Daddy Javi Part 2. Marquand also shared 2 photos of the pair on Instagram, including this candid shot with the caption, "I have a six-pack from laughing so hard these last couple of days." I wish I could get a six-pack from that. He also visited Jesus and her sister Brittany in Florida in mid-September and shared a photo of the trio sitting together while out on the town. Now, at the end of September, Marquand returned to Florida with sons Lincoln and Isaac, where they spent time with Jesus, her 2 daughters, and Brittany at a water park. The reality stars both have children from separate relationships. Marquand shares 3-year-old son Lincoln with ex-wife Kaylin Lowry, who also stars on Teen Mom 2, and has a close relationship with his former stepson Isaac from Lowry's previous relationship with Joe Rivera. How can we keep up with it all? So here's what we all want to know. How is Kaylin taking the news? Well, even though Marquand is dating his ex-wife's co-star, it seems everything is fine with Lowry somehow. The pair, who are writing a book together titled He Said, She Said, is currently starring in Marriage Boot Camp Reality Stars. And in an Instagram post in mid-October, Marquand shared a sweet post of himself kissing Lowry on the cheek, writing, quote, "Despite everything that happened between us, I'm happy we are at a place where we can go to events, have a good time, and be civil. We're doing a pretty good job raising these kids." I need a chart and a graph to connect all these people.
I can't get over Daddy Javi.
Daddy Javi and Daddy Javi Part 2, everybody.
All right, let's check in with Facebook Live. We're talking Mandy Moore's engagement. We want to know how you met your significant other. Ashley says, high school sweethearts. That's adorable.
Lorraine says, in the laundry room at our apartment. Well, Lorraine,
wow.
That seems
Who knew?
steamy to me.
I know. What happened next?
Folding clothes. Maybe just help her carry the laundry away.
Maybe.
Keep the Facebook comments coming in. We will check in with you again soon. If you tell a steamy story, we're more likely to share it live on the air.
It's incentive.
Andrea, in the meantime, has more for us.
Yes, we're talking a lot of couples today. We're going to go from one cute couple to the next, kicking off Star Treks with one of Hollywood's favorite mamas. Blake Lively is one tired mom of 2. The All I See Is You actress revealed to People that it's been 3 years of not sleeping for her and hubby Ryan Reynolds. Because even though her 1-year-old daughter Inez has finally started sleeping through the night, her 3-year-old daughter James refuses to go to bed now. Hang in there, Blake. But thankfully, the actress has some amazing Halloween costumes to look forward to this year. She tells People they were originally all going to be Monsters, Inc. characters, but James changed her mind, saying, quote, she suggested that she be Moana and the baby be Hey Hey the Rooster. Basically, the baby is the goofy animal sidekick while she gets to be the princess. It's very cute. Really smart of her. If you're wondering how the famous family has time to be together with their busy schedules, Lively says, my husband and I don't work at the same time. We all go together as a family. If we're away, it's never more than a day. We'll love those two. Now on to another happy couple. Bachelor alum Whitney Bischoff is officially off the market. The 32-year-old fertility nurse, who was previously engaged to The Bachelor's Chris Soules during season 19 of the hit ABC series, tied the knot with sales manager Ricky Angel over the weekend. The happy couple exchanged I-dos in an intimate ocean view ceremony off the coast of Cape Cod. Whitney, who says she was still vulnerable from her breakup with Soules before meeting Angel back in 2015, is now happier than ever, revealing everything happens for a reason. There's not a better person for me. It was a perfect day, everything I dreamed my wedding could be. And a few very familiar faces also showed up. Fellow Bachelor stars Carly Waddell, Evan Bass, Sean Booth, and Caitlin Bristow were all in attendance. Whitney, who competed on The Bachelor with both Carly and Caitlin, says she still has fond memories from the reality series. And also, how epic is this group photo? I love it. Looks like such a fun day. Very happy for Whitney. And those are your Star Treks for today.
All right, guys, stick around. Legendary science guy Bill Nye is talking twerking. Yes, twerking. And we're showing off Katie Holmes' new do and seeing what Matthew McConaughey and his wife were up to last night in our Picture This segment. Don't miss it.
This is King Cutie in People. His Royal Highness Prince George Alexander Louis of Cambridge. These are George's parents, George's home, his Nana, the Queen, and his staff of 644 Englishmen. This is George's dog Lupo, who inspired his favorite book, The Adventures of the Royal Dog Lupo, one George will share now that he's a big brother. People. The details make the story. Don't miss this week's People.
Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy. Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Science Guy show is over. I gotta move on to something bigger. Nowadays, I'm talking to adults, and I'm not mincing words. Climate is changing. It's our fault. We gotta get to work on this. This is where we see the smoking gun.
This is raising sea level. This is drowning Miami eventually.
Bill successfully transitioned from Bill Nye, the science guy for kids, to the science statesman.
We're going to space! Rocket science.
That's the bottle I'm drinking with Bill.
Mission control.
Go ahead, Bill Nye.
I would just like to say the following thing.
Woohoo! We are, dare I say it, changing the world!
Dare I say it? Bill Nye is changing the world indeed. Specifically, he's taken on the spread of anti-scientific thinking, traveling the world to prove that science can and should be trusted. You can see his journey in the new documentary, Bill Nye, Science Guy, which is screening in select theaters across the country now. When he stopped by the show, though, naturally, we tackled the controversial topic that Bill recently went viral for, twerking. Take a look. You made headlines a few weeks ago after a video went viral with some ladies in an elevator twerking. Look, this went crazy.
Okay, so tell me, Jeremy.
Yes.
I'm of an age. What were those ladies doing?
They were twerking.
The door opens, there are 4 ladies in swimsuits.
And they froze, right? The door opened, they saw you, there's Bill Nye the Science Guy, and they're in shock.
Believe it.
Greetings, ladies. Carry on.
Did you learn to do it?
No.
Bill Nye the Science Guy
I spent a lot of
twerking.
time dancing. You know.
Did you?
I do.
You still
I go
do? What?
Swing dancing quite
Swing,
often,
okay.
yes.
You've
I
never
do
twerked?
Ballroom, not on purpose. But hang on. So you're a woman in the elevator, and you're twerking with your colleagues.
Yeah,
shaking
colleagues,
your
yes.
empanages. Okay. Empennage is a fabulous word, reflecting the tradition of French aviation. And they're using the reflective surface of the elevator to help record this activity. What do they do with this recorded image?
They
send
post
it
it
to men,
on the internet and make
hoping
everyone's,
to
they
interact
bring
with
joy
some
to
men.
everyone's.
Well, they brought me joy, frankly.
Well, it didn't look like,
Uncle Bill's got to play it cool, all right?
Anna Faris says closure after heartbreak is something she really doesn't believe in. The star, who has been on a promotional tour for her new book, Unqualified, chatted with people during her stop in Jersey City, New Jersey on Tuesday night, opening up about some of the tribulations she's faced throughout her life, and revealed she doesn't really believe in closure when it comes to breakups or dealing with hard situations, saying heartbreak makes you more human. The star, who also has a podcast, Anna Faris is Unqualified, has been promoting her new book amid her split from Chris Pratt after 8 years of marriage. She tells people that the timing of the book release and her split was less than ideal, saying, "At first I thought, oh my gosh, this is crazy timing. Now it sort of feels like maybe in a way everything that's happened helps bring it full circle."
There you go, guys. That's actress Katie Holmes debuting her most dramatic haircut in nearly a decade. Katie making her first public appearance with her new feminine but kick-ass, as she calls it, pixie haircut at the FAO Schwartz pop-up store in New York City on Tuesday.
Yeah, she looks fierce. All right, dressed to impress, Matthew McConaughey and gorgeous wife Camila Alves were spotted in Brazil. The lovely couple made their way to A-list manager Guy Oseari's vow renewal ceremony in Rio de Janeiro.
So this is Thriller.
Nice.
That's all I'll do. That's actress Zendaya attending the Michael Jackson Scream Halloween Takeover event in Hollywood, California. She probably sang that.
Newly engaged John Stamos hits the red carpet with new fiancée Caitlin McHugh at the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation event in Beverly Hills.
Happy in love. Yeah, looking good. I don't know about you guys, but the one and only Kenny Rogers and Lionel Richie's bromance gives me some serious friendship goals. And yes, the country legend confirmed to me that it is, in fact, a bromance. And he let me know how it all began. Watch.
Well, it's funny, we started off when I wanted to record something of his. I called him and I said, "Lionel, I want you to write me a song for my new album." And he said, "Well, I'm really busy and I don't have time." I said, "Well, I just thought I'd tell you that it's going to be on a greatest hits album and it'll probably sell 5 or 6 million and you'll make a lot of money." He says, "How's Saturday at 7:30? You know,
I'll be there.
So he came over and we became such good friends, and I had a big house out in LA and I talked him into moving from Tuskegee to LA, and he lived in one of my guest houses, and we really were good friends.
Is it safe to call it a bromance? That's what the kids are saying.
I think it's safe.
You're gonna take my place at the treatment facility. We're swapping spots, that's all this is.
And what about you?
Don't worry about me. First bed opens up, I'm gonna get out there.
Can't leave you.
You're getting on this bus.
So I go and get better while you sit here, broken.
I'll figure it out.
That's Biula Koale with Miles Teller in a scene from Thank You for Your Service. The movie is our Toyota People Pick of the Day. It follows a tight-knit group of soldiers trying to adjust back to normal life after returning from Iraq with severe PTSD. We're very excited to have Biula in studio with us today. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good, good. First time in New York.
Yeah,
welcome.
Yeah. I got a massive smile.
Lots to look at.
Well, we're very excited to have you here. Let's talk about this. Your character based on a real soldier who came back from Iraq with severe PTSD, an incredible guy named Solo Ayeti. I know that you got to know him and all about his intense story, and it wasn't necessarily the easiest thing to sort of get to know him. I read some about that, but playing a real life person with that type of background has got to be tough. What did you learn from him after getting to know him?
That he'd been through some pretty dark stuff, and he's seen some things that a lot of these soldiers seen, but it's not normal for a human being to see these things. And he came back home pretty dark, and I've done a lot of research on him and tried to put that into the film.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was hard to get Solo on board for this, but you did, and you kind of shared your struggles and your life, because you have this insane story. You grew up without much money in New Zealand, and sort of kind of got this movie out of nowhere, and now your life's changed so much. How much has doing this movie changed your life?
It's changed my life completely. Like, basically, Jason Hall, the director, he basically cast me for the film and needed to convince the top dogs to give this nobody from New Zealand one of the lead roles in his film, and then Jason basically got me a gig on Hawaii 5-0 as well. So
yeah, it all sort of went full. Yeah, and to have a guy push you through, and then like the whole movie's like sort of resting on you and stuff. Obviously, Miles Teller was incredible. The camaraderie between the two of you is really remarkable, and it plays so genuinely as we watch the movie. You spent a lot of time with Miles.
Yeah, Miles is my boy.
What's the biggest takeaway from working with him?
He taught me so much. He kind of took me under his wing because he knew that this was my first big major American film, and we hung out a lot, and the chemistry that you see on screen, that's how we are off screen. Like, that guy is my boy, and we're brothers, and we got taken through a boot camp, and that's run by Navy SEALs, and that's where we kind of formed that bond.
I was going to ask what you did before filming, so that'll do it. Like some form of a boot camp.
Fun, but probably also very, very intense. So the film is heartbreaking. It's very true to what a soldier experiences when they get home. What do you hope that people get out of this story in this movie?
I don't really mind what audiences take away from this film. I just hope that they're brave enough and they come with an open mind when they see this film, and I hope they kind of walk away knowing that when you say thank you for your service for someone who served for your country, that you have a little insight of what is going on with this person and when they come back home, because there's another war that happens when you after war, and that's the war at home. And,
struggling to get the right kind of care, and people understanding more about what PTSD actually means. That's all so well portrayed here. I think I walked away. I feel like I have a better understanding and more of an appreciation just from seeing the movie. So you mentioned this. Now you're on a roll. You're cast in the TV series Hawaii 5-0 as a result of doing this movie. Living in Hawaii, no big deal. What do you love most about doing that show, besides obviously living in Hawaii?
The cast members and the entire crew are pretty awesome to work with. Like, everyone's kind of stress-free, and I think it's really easy to do that when you live in Hawaii, because whenever you're stressed, you just open the door, look out and see the ocean and see the mountain, and you're like, cool, I'm good.
Immediately calm.
And then you're calm, you're back into your Zen mode.
Can you give us any insight into what's on the way for Hawaii 5-0?
My character, Junior Reynolds, is going to do a whole bunch of cool action stuff. So, I think audiences should. He plays a Navy SEAL, so he should see some cool action Navy SEAL gunfighting stuff.
Action like you're getting in on stunt work type stuff?
Yeah, man. I try and get in as many stunt work as I can, and I feel sorry for my stunt doubles because I'm so sorry buddy, I want to do this. I want to jump in the ocean. I want to tackle this person or shoot, and that's great.
It's gotta be so much fun. Okay, biggest difference from life back then, because you had such a tough childhood, to now?
Just having money, I guess. And just eating and not having to worry about where I'm going to get money to eat. And I got twin babies, and I can give them a life that I've never had when I grew up. And I think that's an opportunity for me to be this great role model for my kids.
It's fantastic.
Nice. And you're so good in the movie, so congratulations.
Thank you so much.
When you talk to the family and people back home, what do you tell them and what do they make of all that's happening for you?
My family, my immediate family are pretty cool about everything. They don't let anything get to my head, and that's what I love about them. And but it's kind of unreal. Like it's kind of crazy. Like I'm gonna go home and tell them like I was on a talk show with you guys. They're gonna be like, what? Like, yeah.
So that's really cool.
Stay humble, though. I think that's very important.
Yeah. It's so good to meet you, and congratulations on everything. Guys, be sure to check out Thank You for Your Service. It's out this Friday, October 27th, and of course, check out Hawaii Five-0.
Cool.
This is Jennifer Lawrence in People. This is Jennifer photobombing Taylor Swift, and Sarah Jessica Parker and Liam Hemsworth, proving that while we all love the fashion of the red carpet, it's people who steal the show. People. The details make the story.
In this week's issue of People, Dynasty star Catherine Oxenberg is opening up about her desperate battle to get her daughter back. For the past several years, Oxenberg's oldest daughter, 26-year-old India, has become deeply involved in a controversial self-improvement program called Nxivm. With locations in New York, San Francisco, and Mexico, the group claims to take people on a journey of personal discovery and development. But the reality, according to Oxenberg, is much darker. When India attended her first Nxivm meeting in 2011, Oxenberg was actually by her side. She found the group, quote, weird and creepy, but India was intrigued. Over the next few years, India threw herself into the organization, attending more and more expensive classes, eventually emptying her bank account of her inheritance and moving to Albany, New York, which is where Nxivm's headquarters are located. Oxenberg noted a drastic change in India's personality as a result. Watch.
And once she moved there, I didn't have as much contact with her anymore. And she started to tell, and then I started to see like a big personality change. She is normally very warm, very friendly, loving, and she became distant, burdened, serious, reserved. She was always on two phones, and she wasn't present anymore.
Oxenberg says she has spoken to multiple women who fled the organization, and they told her some terrifying things, like how they weren't allowed to consume more than 800 calories per day as members of the group's inner sisterhood, of which India is also reportedly a member. Another woman said India told her once that she, quote, wasn't going to eat for 3 days out of penance to try and correct her behavior. Some of the women, including India, were even branded with Nxivm's leader, Keith Raniere's initials. In April, India told her mother over the phone that her hair had been falling out and she hadn't had her period in a year. But in May, after Oxenberg confronted her daughter in person about Nxivm, India stopped communicating with her. Now her mother is turning to the media as her last chance to save her daughter. Take a look.
So now, I don't know what to do because she is scheduled to get on a plane in a few hours to go back to Albany. And she's killing herself. And there's nothing I can do. Nothing.
According to Stephen Hassan, founder and director of the Freedom of Mind Resource Center, quote, people get into these groups because they want to improve themselves and help others. But this is a group that preys on people. They get them in, they indoctrinate them, and then they send them out to recruit more people, kind of like cancer cells. On October 19th, India posted a message on her Facebook page in response to her mother's recent allegations. She wrote in part, quote, thank you for your care and concern. I'm absolutely fine. Great, actually. I would never put myself or the people I love into any danger. These are my friends and colleagues, and I've never seen anything but good come out of this work. As for Oxenberg, she is determined to keep fighting until India leaves the group, saying, quote, I understand how incredibly easy it is to mess with somebody's mind to the point that you can get them to do almost anything. It's terrifying. Guys, now we move on to this.
Jason Reynolds is an award-winning author and has been praised for how he is able to reach young audiences. His newest book, A Long Way Down, tells the story of a teenager who sees his brother gunned down in the street. It's already getting rave reviews. Raised by a single mom, the author has nothing but praise for his mama. Watch this.
Am I a mama's boy? I mean, of course, I'm a mama's boy, but I'm not a mama's boy. My mother does not enable me. So let's clarify some things, right? I'm a mama's boy in the sense that I see my mother as the pinnacle, but for good reason. My mother sacrificed her entire life to raise us. My mother did it by herself. My mother took 12 years to get a bachelor's degree, did it class by class. My mother worked from 15 to 55 in the exact same job and worked her way from the mailroom to the executive office and then retired and became a school teacher, which she's been doing for 16 years. This is a woman who's beat cancer. This is a woman who has beat racism. This is a woman who has beat corporate prejudice. right? This is a woman who deserves to be praised every chance I get. Now, with all that being said, my mother also was very honest with me. She taught me what it meant to be responsible, to hold myself accountable. So she is not the kind of mother that sort of enables me, all right? She's harder on me than anybody else. So absolutely, I'm a mama's boy, and I have no problem being a mama's boy for the rest of my life. Everything I do is to make her life easy.
All right, let's check in with Facebook Live. One last time, we've been asking you how you met your significant other. A lot of great stories here.
I love these stories.
Diane says, I met my husband when we both took an ice skating class back in high school. We've been married 32 years.
Wow,
that's so
all the way
sweet.
back to high school. Letty says, I met my husband back in middle and high school. 20 plus years later, we met up again and got married.
Okay, Courtney says online, very popular now.
I've been to 2 weddings from meeting people.
Yeah, it's like very normal now. Suzanne says, my husband's ex-wife introduced us. I'm gonna need the story on that one.
Well, maybe there's a little more to it. Ooh, so much drama on this feed. Lynn says, on a blind date at college is where we met. Sandra says, we met at church. Megan says, we met in 1st grade, started dating in college.
Cute.
So great. My wife and I, thanks for asking, met in college as well. And then we had a little breakup, moved to California, got back together, married, 10 years. Boom.
Nice. My husband, no, not. Still waiting to meet that not so lucky guy.
Oh, Andrea, will one day be very lucky.
Thank you guys for the stories, though. These are great.
Coming up tomorrow, comedian Lisa Lampanelli opens up about her weight loss journey and her off-Broadway show, Stuffed. Plus, The Office star Angela Kinsey talks a possible reunion of the hilarious show. We are keeping our fingers crossed for that.
Yes, thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Kelsey Ballerini. Enjoy.
Bye, guys.
Hey, I'm Kelsey Ballerini, and this is One Last Thing. The last song that was stuck in my head was Body Like a Back Road, driving with my eyes closed. I know every curve like the back of my hand. The last time I laughed so hard I cried, it's a daily occurrence. I can't remember the last time. My last date night was last night with Morgan Evans in New York City.